I'm going to share my layoff story because a lot of you have been laid off, and so hopefully this is encouraging for y'all. In 2009, I had graduated college and I got a degree in information systems because I wanted to get into tech. I wanted to make money. At the time, that was what felt like the worst economy to graduate in, and I had no degree, no experience, and I had a terrible GPA. So for a year and a half, I worked as a teller, making like 12 and a half bucks an hour. And somewhere in that point, I picked up a second job doing essentially like, we'll call it tech support, part-time. And I used that part-time tech support to get my experience because I really wanted to break into tech. I was like obsessed with getting into an Amazon or a Boeing. I got into Amazon in a couple of years and I felt like I was set, which honestly I was. So from about 2011 to about 2023, I finally was in the kind of the job of my dreams. By 2023, I was in the company of my dreams. I was making really good money, the most money I had ever seen in my life. And I'm not gonna lie, at the time, it felt like this could go on forever. I could finish my career in tech and make a very good living. But then in 2023, I remember at my last employer, well, one of the last employers, I was giving a big presentation to like 500 employees. And I was like, by the way, these are the next steps. I'll follow up with, these different organizations. Next morning, I get an email saying I've been laid off. I was like, what the fuck? I did get a severance. I know not everybody gets that. So I went backpacking solo for a few months, came back, started applying for jobs, and for a very long time I was doing hundreds of applications, dozens of interviews, multiples and multiples of final rounds that got drug out. But at some point I was like, I don't know if this is really worth it anymore. So now we're in the middle of 2023. I start kind of with a friend back then, but now co-founder. We had this little business, okay? And it was kind of functioning like a side hustle in the sense that it wouldn't pay the bills. Doing that for about 6 months from about, July onwards of 2023. But then in January 2024, I get a job offer offering like 30% less than what I was used to. I took it because I just couldn't really afford not to. But so that 6 months prior, I was kind of working this little business before getting this additional job. I was basically doing Uber Eats delivery driving, essentially, just to kind of keep the burn rate steady. But I take this job in 2024. 6 months later, they fire me because they don't like my side hustle. So I get fired from that place in like August of 2024. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm not applying for jobs. That brings us to the last 1 year, and we have completely scaled this little side business. Is not really a side business anymore. It's a full scaled startup with employees, and I'm very content with where we're at. Despite being laid off one time, despite being fired for it, despite having to do delivery driving, I'm glad it happened. So something good will happen for you too.